channel. So I'm here with Lewis.
What's up, guys?
Today we'll be answering some of your guys' questions throughout my YouTube videos, and I did a community tab on YouTube, so we're going to be answering all those questions, as well as just pretty much talking about what it's been like dating a flight attendant. So the first question is, how did we meet? So we actually did meet in training. I remember when I first met you, but I don't think you remember. It was like the first day, and maybe not the first day, it was like the first week, and we had to wait to get all fitted for our uniforms. And so I saw Lewis and I said hi and I tried to make conversation, but he was just like out of it. So I was like, okay. So we actually never talked again till week 4 out of 6.
Yeah.
I feel like we had 2 different friend groups.
Yeah.
So I pretty much hung out with my friends, and he pretty much hung out with his friends. So we really didn't get to start knowing each other till after training, after we graduated. So overall, we met in training. Yes. And when we tell other flight attendants that we met in training, they're either like, oh, that's cute, or they're like, what the hell?
Yeah, because it's kind of like bad luck to start dating in training. So whenever I tell people that I met her in training, I tell them that we met in training, but we didn't start dating until after training, because it seems like there's a track record of people who start in training dating and it just doesn't work out well. Mm-hmm. So
and what really helped was I was based in New York for a year and he was based in Miami for a year, so we were long distance for like a year.
Mm-hmm. About a year.
Yeah, which
really isn't hard to do. Those of you who have questions about being in a relationship and being a flight attendant, it obviously makes it better because we can both fly, but you're always flying, right? So a long distance relationship, it's really not as big of a hurdle as it would be for a normal person.
Yeah. And that brings me into another question that was asked. So, hello Nina and Lewis. So as flight attendants, we all think we won't have time for our partner and our house. How true is this? How much free time a flight attendant has to give to his or her partner and compensate for the time away? So, for us, we have spent the last week by each other's side. So, as a flight attendant, I feel like it's a misconception. Misconception that you're always traveling, you're never at home, but in reality you have more off days than a normal job, I feel like, because on average, I mean, it depends. If you want to work on your off days you can, but on average a flight attendant has between 10 and 12 days off, and it's always straight days. It's not like a day here, a day here, a day here. It's 3 days off straight, 4 days off straight. Mm-hmm. So that definitely helps a lot. And I feel like when you're home, you can really be home and cherish those times with your family.
Yeah, I mean, she pretty much said it. Yeah, you're going to be away from home a lot, but you also get a lot of time off, way more than the average job. So you also, even though you're away a lot, you're also going to be home, have the opportunity to be home a lot. Mm-hmm. So,
and depending on what your partner or spouse does for a living, they could also come on your trips, and your kids can come on your trips as well, depending how long your layover is, which is super fun as well.
Yeah.
Is there any downside in dating or being a flight attendant?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's always upside and there's downside to it. I mean, look, if you have that type of personality where you do really well with traveling and things constantly changing, and you're kind of have that spontaneous type of personality, then a flight attendant type of job is going to be perfect for you. If sitting down at a job doing the same repetitive tasks every single day, coming home from work, going to sleep, doing it again and again and again, if that sort of stuff feels soul-sucking to you, as it did for me, then a job like a flight attendant is really the perfect thing. Now with that, you know, it's almost like you feel very unstable at times.
Yeah, like before this whole week long that we had off, before that we were like working a lot, and we were like, man, we just wish we can be home and like relax and not have to fly here or there. Like sometimes a flight attendant, yeah, you travel a lot, but sometimes you just want to not, like, just want to be home, just to have that stability. And then we did get that. We were off for a week, and now we're ready to get back to working a lot.
Right. Another thing is that it's kind of hard to keep friends as a flight attendant, as scary as that sounds. I mean, well, especially the new people you meet, because when you work, you're going to make a lot of friends, you know, on the crew, and you guys are going to feel like, oh my god, like this is like going to be my new best friend. I want to hang out with you, and you don't even know how many times this happens to flight attendants. But the reality is, you guys are probably never really going to have schedules that meet up. Most likely you're not going to be able to fly with them again, because most bases, there's so many flight attendants, you never really work with the same people, which can be a blessing if you're working with a monster, you know, but it could also be kind of sad because you want to see a familiar face, which you're really, it's not going to happen so much.
And I don't think people think about that. Like, I wonder if people think like, oh, they fly with the same people all the time, but you're literally flying with like different people, which can be kind of like, I don't know, I guess if you're this type of person who doesn't care, you don't care, but some people, they're like, oh my god, who's my crew, what are they going to be like, because you're spending the next, you know, 2, 3, 4 days with them.
Right. And like for some people, it's a, you know, sometimes when you meet new people, there's that thin layer of anxiety, like, you know, because you don't know how they're going to be. And I definitely felt that in the beginning, before I met my crews. But now, like, I love meeting new crews. I love meeting new people. I love the fact that I get to meet so many different people. Every time I work, I'm meeting new people. It makes, I don't know, like, it makes you feel alive, I think. I don't know. There's like a sense of like, you know. Yeah,
because imagine excitement. Like working with the same people every single day, and you're like, oh, gotta see Barbara today. But for us, we're like, who is this Ashley? Who is this?
Yeah. Oh, and here's the thing. What I think most flight attendants do, especially the younger ones, we are always looking, because you get the names of your crew before you're working. So you could actually look them up on Instagram, on Facebook, and you're making these kind of like judgments and assumptions, you know, looking at their profile of how they're going to be.
Yeah.
And you may be like, oh, this person looks like, oh, we're going to get along great. They like to hike. I like to hike. And so
just a heads up, you might be stalked on Facebook before you work your trip. Another question that was asked was, how has commuting changed your relationship? Any tips would be great. What boundaries have you found helpful, if any? Have either of you had other relationship that ended because of this lifestyle? Anything you learned from it? So for the first year of our relationship, it was long distance. And I remember the very beginning, we would say like, oh, it was fine, you know, this is pretty much easy, because we saw each other so much. Even though we were long distance, we saw each other a lot, whether on our off days or I would go on his trips, he would come on my trips, so we both equally like made it work.
So yeah, it differs from a regular job, because a regular job, you'd come home from work and you'd get those 4 or 5 hours with your partner, and you guys would get to do whatever together, and then you'd go to sleep and you wouldn't see him for the 9 hours, 10 hours you're at work. You know, for us, we're completely away from each other for a long time, but then we have these days, these full days off, complete days off, not just Saturday and Sunday. I mean, it could be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then so you get an opportunity to meet up with that person and see them for these 4 or 5 full days. So
in the beginning we wouldn't see each other for 3 weeks, but then we would see each other for like 5 days. But then towards the
3 weeks. I was in there 3 weeks.
True. What's the longest?
Probably
3 weeks, like
15 days. Yeah.
So in the beginning, we wouldn't see each other as often. No, in the beginning we did see each other a lot, but then towards the end of our long distance relationship, it got really hard. To the point it was like, okay, I need to transfer.
Yeah. Because it's like, you know, in the beginning, you're
still figuring things out, and like I was fine being based in New York, and he wanted to be based in Miami, and we both saw each other a lot, so it was like nothing was wrong.
Yeah. But as we got closer and closer, and like, you know, we got more, our jobs became more routine, you know, like we kind of got a grip on what we were actually doing, at least we thought we did. And then, you know, so it kind of like, we needed to see each other more. I don't know how, like, as our relationship deepened, you know, our real need to feel like we needed to be next to each other more grew.
And now we're next to each other all the time.
Can you put the I like the light up the way it was.
Yeah, but it makes my face too bright. There. Who is more senior between you two? This right here is my senior papa. So, on my last video, I explained how seniority works. It's by your age. So, Lewis is more senior to me because we're in the same class and he's older. He's actually turning 27 on Saturday. So, you guys want to say happy birthday in the comments. And, yeah, he's senior than me. I'm 23. But if I was in a class a week ahead of him, even though he's older, I would have been more senior.
So it goes by your class, and then within your class it goes by your age.
Okay, so this, I told you about this. This person commented this like 3 times, and I had to delete it because I don't know what the hell they were talking about. But they said, are you aware that your best friend, the boyfriend Lewis, vlogged the other day before yesterday that he is married and has a job in real estate that hasn't worked for 3 years?
I don't know what.
So apparently you're married?
No, I'm not married. I think this person just like, obviously she thinks someone's me that looks like me.
I think it's a guy. But anywho, Lewis isn't married. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You sure you're not married?
Yeah, I'm sure.
This person asked, do you both have fake teeth? No.
No, I don't have fake teeth. My front teeth are pretty straight, but my bottom teeth are pretty crooked, which I'm not going to show you, but just take my word for it. They're pretty crooked.
I don't have fake teeth. I've never had braces, but I do want to do like teeth whitening. My teeth need some teeth whitening. If you guys want to have kids in the future, have you thought about how you're going to manage having kids with your varying schedules? Since both of you are flight attendants, will one or both of you get a different job or potentially an entire different career? They want to know that too. Yeah. I feel like we've talked about this a few times. You would bring up like, oh, yeah, isn't it hard? Don't you think it'll be hard for both of us to be flight attendants and like have a family and a house and all that? Mm-hmm. And I don't think it will, because I've talked to various flight attendants. Well, a few flight attendants that are dating either someone in the industry, whether it's a flight attendant or a pilot. You just kind of have to arrange your schedules so that someone's home all the time or stuff like that.
Yeah. But, you know, I do have aspirations to do other things outside of being a flight attendant. In my opinion, I think this job is really, it's best when you kind of couple it with something else on the side. And to be honest, you know, I don't think anyone should just rely on one source of income to become too reliant on that. You kind of put all your eggs in one basket. So yeah, I want to do other things, and I plan to do other things, and I think that it makes this job even more enjoyable when it's almost like a hobby, where it's like you have when it's almost a thing on the side, you know. It's perfectly okay if it's your 100% only thing. That's perfectly fine. But for some people like myself, I think if I had something else, like, you know, I'm actually getting started in real estate, to kind of have that as my main focal point and kind of do something like being a flight attendant kind of as my side thing, where it's a hobby, it's something that's enjoyable. I think that it even works better. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with having it as your one and only thing. But that's just what I prefer.
So yeah, if and when we do decide to have children, I don't think either one of us will think that we have to quit our jobs. We'll just make it work.
Yeah, you make it work. Maybe we'll move in and grandma. We'll get a grandma to move in.
I have heard for those flight attendants who have kids that what really helps is when you have a support system, because when you're away flying, you have to have someone that you really trust be with your child, or the father be with the child, or someone being home with the child. And
so also, like you guys already know from watching our videos, that as you get more senior, you're not on reserve as much, and you can hold a line, which is basically enables you to control your schedule a lot more closer. So it really wouldn't be too difficult to manipulate our schedule so that it would work for ourselves, right?
And just like we were talking before about how you kind of have more time as a flight attendant to be with your spouse, you kind of have more time to be with your kids, because when they get to that age where they're in school, you can pretty much only work trips while they're at school, and then you can be back home. So it's kind of like, yeah, you're a flight attendant, but maybe you just do turns where you leave at 9 in the morning, you come back by 4, and your kids go to school and they come back and you're home. So there's a lot of different options and different trips.
Yep. And there's also something called ODANs, where you leave at night. And so by the time your kids already have come home from school, and then you leave for work, maybe your spouse is now home, and then you work, and then you work through the night, and you come home in the morning. So you could pretty much be there when your kids come home from school, and then also be there before they have to leave the next morning. So a lot of parents do that.
So those are pretty much all the questions, but we did want to just talk a bit more about ourselves and our relationship and what it's been like dating each other, both being flight attendants.
So I think our relationship has now been tested, really tested a lot. I think in the beginning, like we said, being that we were long distance, obviously that puts a strain on the relationship. For some people, there is a challenge there in maintaining the relationship. But now it's kind of different. Now it's almost like we're spending too much time with each other. And, no matter who it is, you spend too much time with a human being, you're gonna get on each other's nerves a little bit. I'm really surprised, though, that we haven't gotten each other's nerves more, because for the last 10 days we've literally been next to each other, like nonstop.
We drove my car from New York to Florida. We only stopped once in Tampa, so we did that drive, which was horrible. And then we were off, and then we had training, CQ training together, and today we're on call. Today he's been on call, and I have standby, so it's like he could not be used, I could not be used, and then tomorrow
it's like we're here we go again. But
don't be fooled, guys. He enjoys every second of it.
I do. But yeah, for most people, if they're, we're still a fairly new relationship, I'll give you that. But for most people, they had to spend all this time together, it could present some challenges. A lot of people, need their alone time. And I feel like I'm one of those people. And it's where I feel like I need my alone time.
Oh yeah,
and she's one of those people too, and it's still working.
On another note, I will say that it can be very challenging dating a straight flight attendant, because he is surrounded by girls all the time, but I'm not a jealous person.
Yeah, she's like the least jealous person I've ever met.
We also have worked together a few times, and I've vlogged that, so if you guys want to know, if you guys want to see a vlog of us working together, it'll be linked down below. It's kind of fun working with each other.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh man, this is like too much. We're living together now, we're working together. But and it was kind of challenging that first day, but then it becomes really fun once you get used to it, because you're basically going to work with your best friend, you know.
Yes.
So that's pretty awesome.
And so this month I'm on reserve. Next month I bid for reserve because I want to change my rotation. He was supposed to, but he really wanted a line. So next month I have reserve, he has a line, and then the following month I'll have a line and he'll have reserve. And then we'll be on the same rotation in December. So in December we'll probably buddy bid again.
Yeah, maybe. I think
We'll
so.
see. But even sometimes we try to get the same trips on reserve. But it's kind of been difficult. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out this Miami base system with the trips. And the last thing I wanted to mention is, if you want to be a flight attendant and you are in a relationship, you can maintain that relationship and be just fine. You just have to really trust that person. I feel like a lot of people, they don't want to date flight attendants because they think that we have different lovers in every city code, which is not true. It can be true for some people, but if you are in a relationship and you want to become a flight attendant but your partner is like, no, you can't be a flight attendant, you should still apply.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it'll actually make your relationship better. Believe me, it will make it even better, because
you cherish every moment that you're with that person.
Exactly. You know, absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? So when you're away on your trip, I guarantee you're going to be thinking of your partner way more, and they'll be thinking about you. And then, you know, then you finally, the day is you come home and you're driving home and you just can't wait to just run through the door and jump in their arms. And you know what? It really makes you appreciate that person more. It really does. My mom is actually was a flight attendant, and I think it absolutely helped. You know, she wasn't always a flight attendant. She became one as I was older, and I definitely saw a noticeable difference in my mom and dad's relationship. I feel like my dad appreciated my mom more. My mom appreciated being home more and doing things around the house more. I mean, she always took care of the house well, but. So yeah, so I actually think it's a relationship improver, and not to mention you guys get to then take basically discounted vacations together, and your partner is not going to be complaining when they're sitting first class on their way to Aruba next to you on vacation for your 6th vacation of the year. You know what I mean? Like, and in that sense, it makes it better too. You guys get to go away together, which is. It's always better than staying home, right?
So yeah, that's pretty much everything that we wanted to say. Make sure you say happy birthday in the comments down below. And if I didn't answer any questions that you may have, comment those down below and I will make sure to respond. Thank you guys so much for watching, so much for supporting my channel. I'm really trying to hit 10K by the end of this year, and we're almost at 6K, and I will be doing a huge giveaway at 10K, so make sure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time.
Alright, see you guys. Peace.